Ben said that today was going to be like the most intense practice of camp. Did you feel that?
Yeah, today was a long one. It was good. The pads were on, so obviously physical. And any chance we get to put the pads on, I think is a great chance for the whole team to just really fly around out there, try to put all the pieces together. It's a lot easier when the pads are on and you can go full speed. So we were grateful for that opportunity. And today was definitely a physical one, but it was good.
Ozzy, today is a day to make your move in competitions for different starting spots, roster spots, whatever. How do you feel like you did?
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be stuff to learn from. That's kind of the main thing that the coaches are hounding in on. It's training camp. Mistakes are going to be made. You try to limit those as few as possible, but as long as you learn from them, you watch the tape, you get better every day. You had a good day. So there's always stuff that I'm going to take from the day, learn from. But just an opportunity to go out there with pads on, I think, is a great one for everyone.
Has it been a challenge? Like you're in with the ones for a couple reps and you might be somewhere else. Just how much swapping they're doing for the three of you, just to like limited opportunity you might have with the first team, and then you're back with a different unit. Is that like hard to manage?
I mean, yeah, I think it's also an opportunity at the same time, getting to play next to different guys, kind of just being versatile. No one's the same, no quarterback cadence is the same. We try to hone it in as much as possible, but there's slight differences in the way that everyone plays. So getting to know your teammates, having the opportunity to play next to a bunch of different guys, I think is something that is beneficial for everyone. So I'm grateful to be able to do that.
Describe the competition and the camaraderie that you're building with Kiran and Braxton.
Yeah, I think the camaraderie is definitely something that I'm super grateful for. They're both great people, great guys, and they're the first ones to help. Anytime anytime that there's something on the field that you have a question on or some specific technique, anything like that, they're the first guys to step up because they're at the same spot and to help out with that. So I'm really grateful for the way that they're handling themselves. And the situation is what it is, but we're all out there trying to be better as a team. So they're doing their part, I'm doing mine, and we're just trying to make each other better.
I think this team obviously invested a high draft pick in you to upgrade their tackle position. But is there anything that you've learned from Braxton Jones, him being a veteran, the time that you've had, at least him back on the field with you?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like what I just touched upon, there's a million different little techniques, just guys that have been there, done that. A guy like him, and he's been really helpful. Again, one of the first guys to step up anytime I have a question about a specific thing, just being someone who's done it in game situations, been there. He's very helpful with all of it. He really enjoys, I think, helping the young guys. So I'm super grateful that he's a part of this team and that I'm able to learn from him.
Ben was saying today that he's looking for somebody who can be on their own out there at left tackle. Do you feel like you're getting opportunities to show that you can do that, and do you feel comfortable by yourself right now? Or is that too quick almost to be by yourself out there?
Yeah, I mean, my main goal is to help the team. So I'm just going out there, especially a day like today, for example, where the pads are on, bullets are flying. Just going out there doing the best that I can to show the coaches my abilities. I'm just going to go out there, head down, work hard. And then what happens after is kind of the coach's decision. So I'm doing my part. I know the other guys are doing theirs, and we're just going to let it unfold.
Bill O'Brien obviously ran a pro scout program down at BC, and there was talk of you may be having a head start because of that coming in. But now that you're week into training camp, are there moments where you're like, oh wow, I'm so glad we did this at Boston College because it prepared me for this moment with the Bears?
Yeah, I think the way he handles his team is very similar. Very pro style, like you mentioned. Training camp last year, very similar schedule. Physicality wise, everything is kind of very dialed in, very focused. And he asks a lot out of his guys. But it'll help them all in the end. I think I'm super grateful to have been coached by him, along the whole staff, because I think they did a great job preparing all the guys, especially having lived a couple of days of it now.
As Ben said this morning, he's been impressed at your sort of self-awareness of what your strengths and weaknesses are. What are some of the target areas you have here of things that you're really honing in to get better on specifically?
Yeah, like I kind of touched upon earlier, every day you're going to see stuff on tape and kind of recognize, oh, this is something that I got to work on. At the same time, the D-line's doing the same thing. They're watching reps and they're saying, oh, this is, maybe a weakness that this guy has. So every day taking a couple things, we get out to practice early. Coach Dan Rochard tells us, take two things. Get out to practice 10, 15 minutes early. Take two things and just work on those and focus on them all day. Try to get, 1% better. And then you'll come out having been better than you were going in. So I think that's the goal every day. I know all the guys take that mindset, so I do the same.
What's
No,
a
it's-
specific example of something that you've been targeting?
Yeah, I mean, especially with these padded days, guys will take advantage of leverage. For example, I'm a taller guy, so just trying to play with my hips low as much as possible, and just staying in a good position throughout. For example, pass rush, stuff like that is things that I'm noticing on tape that I got to work at, and then applying it to the practice field and trying to get better at that every day.
You had your welcome to the NFL moment yet against any of the edge rushers you've gone against?
We're pretty early. I will say, every rep is. I mean, those guys are incredibly talented players. We're all out here trying to make each other better, but we're also incredibly competitive. So that's the way we were raised. We've been in football a long time, all of us. So you want to win every rep, basically. I don't know if there's a specific moment yet. There's a long time still for training camp, but I would say every day is a competition.
What's the biggest challenge? What's the biggest challenge footwork wise for you, or anyways, I guess, playing left tackle versus right tackle?
I think just the game in general is faster at this level. That's something that I've noticed as the pads have gone on. Your feet got to be in the ground as quick as possible if you want to be able to make the block to the capability that you want to make it. I've used this analogy before, but the skill gap is basically non-existent in the NFL. It's very technique driven. So just really dialing in on your technique. If it's not perfect, you're not going to be in a great spot to make the block. So just trying to get it as close to perfect as possible, put yourself in the best spot to succeed.
All set.
Thank you, Ozzy.
Thank you guys. Appreciate your time.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, no problem. Everybody seems asleep right now.
Carl, what's it been like to go through, you didn't get to go through training camp last year, what's it been like just to go through the process this year?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I wish obviously I had this opportunity last year. Just wasn't in the position to do so, but it's been a great learning experience. And I've been having a lot of fun with it. Just really competing with myself and every day trying to be better than the last. So it's been a great learning experience. Great to be with the guys, build camaraderie, be around all these new guys who are teaching us a lot. Just trying to grow as an offense and as a team.
How do you
What have been the
prepare for the
challenges?
unpredictable role that you could have this year, whether it's guard or tackle, whichever side it's on?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I just said, it's just about being, better every single day, and trying to learn and absorb as much knowledge as I can, refine my technique as much as I can, and be ready for any opportunity. That's the way I look at it. It's not necessarily just about hey, I need to be doing this by this date, but I need to be on a steady incline every single day, not making the same mistake twice, and at the end of camp, I think I feel like I'm in a really good position with where I'm at.
What have been the biggest challenges of rotating the way the three of you have?
I don't think there's much of a challenge. I think it's laid out for us, which the staff has done a great job of communicating with us on what they're looking for, and putting us in a position to go take advantage of every rep. So there's not really a challenge, I would say. I think it's more it makes it a little bit more important to take advantage of every single rep you're out there, just because there are limited amounts right now.
What's been Dan's impact on you and technique or whatever else?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's done a great job in helping me kind of think through things and think through technique, and pre-practice, post-practice, in the meeting room. We're talking through all these things so that I kind of have it in my mind, and when I'm out in the field, I can try to apply that that kind of feel and make my body react to what I'm thinking. So yeah, he's done an amazing job, and I'm super thankful for everything he's done so far since he's been here to help me get to where I'm at now.
From a training standpoint, is there anything you think you're better at now than maybe you were at the end of last season?
I think it's more just like being more comfortable in my body, having more body control. I'm stronger. I would say my set, I've worked on it a lot this offseason. It was a priority for me, getting my set right, and feeling comfortable in that. So I think that those are the big things.
Ben said in the spring that it was a priority to build some confidence in you. How has the coaching staff gone about doing that?
I mean, it's just, when we're in the meeting room, it's, talking me through what they're seeing, and kind of giving me fixes for next time. You know, when I'm doing something great, telling me that, you know, what this is, you know, what I'm doing on that play is what they're looking for, so that I kind of can replicate that the next time. And then, like I said, they're just, you know, they're on me every day, so they're pushing me and coaching me hard.
He and Ryan Poles both have been acknowledged at separate points this offseason that last year it was a really tough situation to throw you in there in Minnesota and obviously the Washington game too. Do you use that though, those experiences as a sort of motivation for yourself of if I could handle that, I can handle whatever else comes my way?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, you know, those are things that you look at and you learn from those situations. At the end of the day, you have to be ready when your number is called. So, on the back of that, it was okay. This offseason, how do I get myself into a position where, no matter what the circumstance is, if my number is called upon, can I go out there and perform as well as whoever was out there before me? If I'm not the one out there, so. You know, I think those were learning opportunities that I grew from, and those were last year. And I'm a completely different person, a different player this year, I feel like. So, you know, obviously, not every game is gonna be perfect, but I think I'll be in a position to bounce back a lot better than I was last year.
Kiran, you didn't have camp last summer. How has this been different for you? Probably an enjoyable sense of being able to work on your craft and have a runway for your development.
My body might feel a little worse than it did last year at this point, but yeah, I think that's the main difference. It's been a pleasure, really. I wish I had this opportunity last year, and I'm really enjoying competing and really enjoying playing with all these guys, and learning and growing. So, like I said, every day is a battle with myself, and yeah, I'm going to continue doing that throughout camp.
When you see yourself as a little different player than you were 12 months ago, what do you see right now as some of your predominant strengths?
I think I'm moving pretty well right now. I think I'm using my length better than I did last year. My set looks cleaner to me. Just trying to make that more consistent, but I think overall it looks cleaner. And I think in terms of scheme and playbook wise, I'm in a much better position this year than I was last year.
Ron, so many things being outside of your control, the injuries being thrown into the fire and having to learn on the spot, make it to the second round with another time. Is it hard for you to just focus on what you can control with so many things outside of your control going on around you?
No, I don't think so. I've always kind of prided myself on that. Whatever the situation was, whether it was in college or coming out last year or whatever, I tried to do my best to just control what I can control. That's all you can do. When you start to worry about outside factors, that's when you kind of, you know, you get astray a little, led astray a little bit. So it's not that much of a challenge. I think for me, it's kind of helping me actually to just be able to focus on what I need to do. And like I said, a battle with myself every single day.
What have you seen so far from Ozzy? I know you guys are competing, but you're obviously watching people. What have been your early impressions?
Yeah, I mean, he's a super smart player. He moves well, strong, and yeah, I think he has a strong work ethic, and he's learning fast. So I'm excited to see kind of what he has going on for his career.
The competition is there, but the three of you are, you know, start practice every day are together warming up. Like, what's it been like? Just, you're all competing for the same spot and just getting along and supporting each other.
I mean, those guys are amazing. Braxton and Ozzy, great guys, super nice. Yeah, we're competing on the field, but we're teammates at the end of the day. I think all three of us want to see the best thing for the team happen at the end of this. Obviously, we're all competitors and we want to be out there on Sundays, but it's not stopping us from being teammates and being friends off the field, and trying to learn and grow together. We talk, in between sets, in between racks on the field in team periods. Oh, what'd you see here? What'd you see there? How could I have changed this? We'll watch film and, I sit next to Braxton in the meeting room, so we'll talk through things as we see it. So it's been amazing to work with these guys, and the competition's been awesome. And, yeah.
All set.
Thanks, Kiran.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. How's it going?
How are you?
Good.
Braxton, how you feeling overall?
Feeling pretty good, just from being injured last year pretty seriously. I'm feeling pretty good, and I just, first of all, with that, I want to, shout out my crew, the training staff, and all those guys for getting me to this point. And then lastly, but surely not least, I mean, God has been good to allow me to be able to get back on this football field. It's something that's been big for me and just heavy on my heart. It's like this injury has definitely been very tough on me, and I've learned a lot about myself. So I feel good just to be out there. I'm very grateful and be out there with the guys running and doing feeling myself again. So feeling good.
What ways did that whole rehab process challenge you?
Yeah, I mean, just early on, honestly, early on, there's a lot of things just that I was battling in terms of just being one of my first like serious injuries. Just it makes you look in the mirror and be like, what are you gonna do to get back? Like, what are the things you're gonna do, and how hard am I gonna work to get back? So, and there were some days where I woke up and I was like, I don't feel like doing much today. Like, I don't want to do anything, but I continue to get up, and the training room pushed me. Everybody pushed me. I have a great support system, family that has always supported me, and people that supported me early on that I appreciate too. So, all of it, but yeah, we're here now.
And then what did you learn about yourself going through that whole process?
Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot of patience. A lot of patience. I mean, just having to get surgery and stuff like that. I had to be patient with myself, be patient with the people around me, and honestly, I stepped on a lot of toes during that process early on, and you know, it, it was hard to realize that I need to be more patient with people and allow them to help me, allow them to do things for me. But at the end of the day, I learned that I got to be a little bit more patient and just not be so urgent to do everything. I mean, when you're healthy, you're go 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 go, and then when you're down like that, injured, you gotta be patient. You gotta understand that it's a process and stuff like
That
this.
was, you said, the first like real serious injury you had?
I mean, like something like that, yeah, where it's you know, you guys saw the play last year. I mean, it was pretty serious. Obviously, I've had other injuries that are serious, but that one was like, with the surgery and everything. So yeah, it was a pretty
Did
good.
you know immediately that it was, when you went down, that it was broken or like wrong?
Yeah, I knew immediately something was wrong. I mean, I had never felt something like that before. So immediately as I went down, yeah, I was definitely not necessarily in pain, but I knew something was wrong. So yeah.
Practicing patience, how is that going with a competition to be the starting left tackle? You walk into something now with you and Kiran and Ozzy, like what's that been like?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, for me, I just am trying to focus on myself, to be honest, and do what I can to help the other guys as well, and constantly learning. I use this phrase: "When you're green, you grow, and when you're ripe, you rot." And that's big for me. Like, I'm always constantly trying to learn, and the patience has just come along that I have to focus on getting my ankle right before I can focus on anything else and feeling right. And then just in these last couple of days, it's been coming along, and I've gotten just to see that light at the end of the tunnel, that I could still do the things that I want to do, and I knew I could. But I mean, like at the beginning, when something like that happens and you're starting to go, you're starting to run and do all those things, it's like, man, like come on now, like let's go. When you're such a competitive nature, like you just want to go go go. But like I said, that patience had to come in, and just with the competitive nature too. That's why I'm using that, as just to be, try and learn new things from those guys, learn anything I can, and just constantly be trying to soak everything up.
Right, the mental battle been like going through the injury, you're coming up on a contract year, the Bears draft, spend a second round pick on somebody maybe to ultimately replace you. What's that mental process been like for you, kind of going through that journey?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. It's really just I give a shout out like to God. Like I really got to give everything to God. I had to, really sit back and just realize that I have a purpose that's bigger than myself at the end of the day, and it's to serve that. And I can't. There is a lot of things that go in. You think about that and really can get down on yourself or whatever it is. And I've definitely had those days for sure. But I think at the end of the day, I got to realize that I'm already grateful to be in the position that I'm in. That I've got 3 years of good starting experience. Like I'm extremely grateful. So I just think it's just putting that out in front and realizing those good things, and then still having that mental edge too, like I did with this injury. Like it's given me a new mental edge of being like, I got more to even prove. You know what I mean? Like I can do this even more after coming back from a serious injury. So a little bit of both, but mentally it's been a battle, but I'm here now. I'm feeling happier than ever and just excited to be back with the guys and rolling. So
they asked you to put on weight, right, in order to be able to anchor more. That sort of almost doesn't go with trying to also rehab from an ankle injury. So how do you juggle those two things? It's kind of a big challenge.
Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, like during the early processes, I definitely I cut down in weight, just trying to get back from injury. I mean, for me, that was one of the things I wanted to do, and just take that load off the leg. But I've been getting back up there as well too. It's definitely a challenge, but it's nothing I haven't done before. So,
What's the target?
for me, I really I love that 305, at least like 310 range. That's where I'm targeting. I'm sitting about like 300 or something like so. Getting there though.
You've had a couple of vet days. You've had a couple of vet days in camp. Is there a plan to kind of get you off your feet a little more than you would ordinarily, just as you get back into things?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about that, but I will say it is all a plan. It's not just. I mean, I did suffer a pretty serious ankle injury, and so it's all part of the plan and just making sure that I'm progressing correctly.
You mentioned your experience. How much are you leaning on that in this competition?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it. The experience is a huge thing, and I will obviously lean on that, a lot. But at the end of the day, like I said earlier, it does have like I still have to focus on getting right with the ankle, and then still focusing on that experience I do have. But that comes naturally. When I'm out there on the field, that's not something where you're like, oh, I got this experience. Let me show you this. No, it just kind of happens naturally when I'm out there and just seeing things differently, and trying to still use my experience to help the other guys too. That's how I am, and just always trying to help them out with something that maybe I've seen over the couple of years that I have on them or whatever that is.
Is it your hope to be ready week one, or could you play now? I mean, where do you see that part of it?
I also don't know how to answer that question, but I would say, for right now, I'm on track for where I want to be, and week one is what I would say. Feeling good and constantly just moving and ramping up.
I'll ask you a non-injury question. How about that? You guys were in the shotgun a lot in the first couple of years here. This year, Ben's under center, and he's under center. Teams have been under center a lot. What's the difference for you in terms of what the defense sees and kind of how the quarterback and the offense can move their eyes the way they want?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it is a big difference. The defense obviously plays that a lot differently, and just the angles can change up a little bit, especially in when it comes to running wide zone and things like that. So it's just it's an angle game, and that's how it is up front. The angles are changing on certain things, and I'm sure it's a little bit different for the QB more than me. So.
What did you think of your season last year before the injury, and what did you target that you want to be better at in 2025?
Yeah, I think for me, right before I actually got injured, I was starting to really come around to some of the things that I wanted to accomplish. And I know it was super late in the season, but just a confidence thing and things like that. But I was really just starting to come around it, and I felt like early in the year, dealing with coming into camp a little late as well. Just didn't have the best start I wanted personally, but that's okay. I feel like I was starting to have a better season as the season was going on, and coming into this season, dealing with the injury, that's been my main focus. Just given whatever I have with the injury that day, given if that's 80%, giving the 80%. If that's 100%, giving the 100%, and taking it day by day. I can't look ahead, especially with this injury. I got to be right here in the moment, 24/7, and that's my biggest thing is trying to just be present and just be full go with the injury.
When you had those days, when you were talking about like, I just don't want to do anything today, like how did you get through that? Where did you go?
I've always had like a burning passion to just be better each and every day. I mean, when I was younger, my mom taught me like if you're gonna do something, just try and be the best at it. And so I've always stuck with that. And when it's days like that, and there really was. I mean, when you're sitting there with an injury like that, and you've been in bed all day or whatever it is, you don't want to get up and do much. But it just was that mentality when I had to start going and just Obviously, like I said, I have a great support system too around me. If I needed to talk to somebody, I just talk to somebody, and they give me that extra boost or confidence to just get going. And like I said, the training staff has been great. Adjusting to how I'm feeling on certain days. So I think just kudos to them too, always keeping me fresh and mentally solid on that.
You played a lot of ball, seen a lot of different fronts. What are the challenges that Coach Allen's defense brings to an offensive line?
Yeah. No. There's definitely some challenges for sure. Especially when we get into some of our gap runs and stuff like that. The way he opposes the defense, but we have our adjustments too. So there's a lot of adjustments to the stuff. But right now we're trying to get out there, play ball. I think and adjust when we really need to. Um, even some of the pass pro stuff, he brings a lot of different looks, picking the tackles and things like that. That can be difficult, but it's all stuff that I've seen before. I think I played the Saints a while ago. I don't even know if he was there, but they did the same stunt there, and we did we had to pick it up, and one we had lost. So it brings tons of challenges, and I think just each and every day trying to adjust and be better the next day with it.
Right, Braxton, as you go through the rehab and the competition, I understand you wanted to stay in the moment and all of that, but you're also entering a contract year, so I'm just wondering, does that shape your thinking at all that, yeah, you wanna stay in the moment, but you're also kind of competing and playing for your future?
Yeah, no, for sure. I totally get that too. I've had those conversations with my people as well. I think the biggest thing has been getting 100% healthy and then being able to show what I can do and what I've always been able to do. And that's my biggest thing is just staying the course with the injury. Like if I don't go out there and look right, you know what I mean, with the injury, then that's that. So I feel like going out there, doing everything I can to make sure this injury is, healed correctly and looking good, feeling good, and it has been. So I've got to, put my hat on that and continue working. But trust me, I am, that is definitely in the back of my head as well. And just, like I said, patience. There is a timing for everything, and I think, I can't be too, jumping the gun. I gotta stay where I'm at, and like I said, I think about it for sure, but I'm trying to stay as positive as I can and do what I can right now.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you guys. God bless. Have a good one.